Like, well, it's less sugar than going to Starbucks, getting those big old mocha whatevers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it tastes just as good. So just black coffee here, that ice. Oh my gosh.
Right. A little bit of milk, a little bit of sugar.
I'm glad I hit the start button for all that because you guys deserve to hear all of that.
Oh, okay.
I don't really call black coffee. I don't see color like that, so I just call it coffee.
Racist that way?
Yeah, I just call it coffee. But that's just me, It's cool.
Well, I'm gonna hop out of the show today because I am now it's egg on my face.
Anyways, what is going on, everybody? Frank here for the Bakersfield Gentleman with my brother Miguel and a special guest today, our club president here at Culebras Lounge. And oddly enough, no episode of Mayans this week.
No episode of Mayans. I didn't get to finish my research on the tequila families because we ended up having a birthday yesterday. I completely spaced it. It was our younger brother Dominic's birthday. Felt so bad, but we clutch got everything done, so I'm very happy about that. Timothy, how you doing? I believe that's Joe on there. I can't tell because it always says Facebook user now for Joe. It's terrible.
It is Joe.
All right, there we go. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you all for joining us already, guys. It's going to be a good episode today. Besides them switching up scheduling on us, which is just infuriating. Because we have good cigars to smoke, we've got good stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
we'll be back with you right after this intro. Do me a favor. Like and share the video. If you're listening on the podcast, it always helps to leave a review or to share with your buddies. And we'll be back with you in just a few seconds. Just this week, started playing this new video.
I probably should pay more attention.
Nah, that's not your fault. We're talking about the new intro, by the way, guys. A little shorter than the original. Frankie says I got to go a little longer.
A little bit longer.
No worries, I can do that. But yeah, we just started.
More pictures of the girls with less on. I like that.
What do you call it? Yeah, it should get slower. Like big old puffy coat down to like the bikini for Ashley. That was a great shoot. I like seeing the little timeline of all that because it reminds me of the stuff we've done. Because some days it feels like we haven't done anything, and then you look at that and say, you know what? I think we've got a couple things under the belt. I think we're getting there. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but it's the right direction. Because we have people like Eduardo watching, which is always good. Joe talking about The Boys, which is this Friday. Cannot wait to watch this episode. We just finished. I think you caught the tail end of this. Yeah, Joe. That Joe. I don't know why.
As if she belongs to me.
She belongs to everybody. She belongs to the streets. All right. She knows that. Oh my goodness. For those who cannot see, because this is the podcast is back up, I'm gonna turn that off actually for a second. We've already started cutting and lighting. We have the Last Cowboy Maduro from Sinistro and the Solomon.
Yep, very special Solomon size. I gotta say, it's one of the perks of being friends with James. I mean, there aren't many.
Wow.
Wow. Every time we go down to see him, he's always generous with his humidor. He's like, take whatever you want. And
cigars.
The first time we ever hung out with him and did an event for him was up in Merced, and he always carries two humidors with him, the big ones, one for his stuff that he carries for samples or whatnot, and one that he carries of stuff that people have given him or stuff that he bought himself, kind of thing. And so he opens up that one, he takes out a few sticks. He's like, yeah, I'm keeping these, but anything else you guys want, go ahead and grab. So I'm here, I'm grabbing like one or two. Miguel's no regards, handfuls. I'm like, really, the first time?
What do you call it?
It is what it is.
When someone tells you to do something like that, I think it's disrespect. Like, you look at, I guess you have a couple good cigars in there. No, there's a lot of good stuff. It's like, okay, he gets so many cigars. There's one humidor that just can't get to. And then the other one is, this is stuff I have to get to.
Yeah.
It's that priority chart.
Yeah.
The 4 blocks has to be done today, should be done today, got to get around to it whenever I feel like it. And that is the one I don't grab. That's right there.
I will say though, now that we've been friends for a long time, and we go see him at his factory or his warehouse and whatnot, he has some boxes that for whatever reason were damaged in shipping. Whether it's customs, poking holes and stuff, or boxes get a little messed up that he can't sell.
Yeah.
He goes, if you guys want anything, take it. So now, without regard, I'll take all of it. I don't care.
You got there.
No. But it is what it is. I mean, yeah, so we have some great cigars for you guys. If you have not yet tried Sinistro, I highly recommend trying it. They should be found just about anywhere you can find cigars. You guys are getting very, very popular. The Salomon size is only for certain retailers. They have to be kind of like that Drew Diplomat or Fuente account kind of a thing for Sinistro. So only certain retailers will get the special sizes, but you should be able to find them relatively easy if you just look online. Fantastic cigar, fantastic size. It is a shaggy foot and a shaggy head, so you kind of got to cut it a certain way.
Yeah, that's a weird for a double perfecto like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
To have the shaggy both sides.
For those who can't see, basically all that means is that there's a little bit of wrapper that's sticking out there. An exposed foot would be no wrapper and binder showing. For those who just want a little extra knowledge there, I know you probably already know that watching the show, but we gotta technically feed that information once in a while. Just
Right.
keep it going.
Well, some would say because of the shaggy foot and the shaggy cap, that allows more ammonia to escape as the cigars age, and creating and making the cigar more smooth, and making the flavor more robust, so that you're not taking the first puff going ugh. The nice thing is this was capped with a it looks like it's capped with a Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
and the really nice thing about that is the very first few puffs on the cigar, super sweet.
Yeah, they do that at both ends too. They have the Connecticut at both ends. So yeah, absolutely agree.
And Jared, I really like that idea there too, because I never thought about that being that little extra foot wrapper that you remove to smoke it. Yeah, the ammonia's sitting right there. So if there is anything left, clip it away. It's gone.
Right.
I always thought just aesthetically it looked pleasing. It looks cool. It's different.
Right.
But if it has a functionality purpose too, that's much better. It's like my favorite TV chef, Elton Brown. No tool in his kitchen can have one purpose.
Yeah, there's only one tool in Elton Brown's kitchen. That's a unitasker. That's the
Fire extinguisher. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Oh, this guy got me into that when I was a kid, and then one night.
Got you into a fire extinguisher?
Well, that was because we were lighting stuff on fire. That's different. That's a whole different story. But we decided we had to go to the 24-hour grocery in Ventura and get stuff for French toast.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you have to let it sit overnight. We've got to start now then.
Right. That's right.
Take off in the middle of the night to go get.
You buy brioche, and when you buy brioche, you take it out, and you set it out, and let it dry out overnight, so that it actually creates a pudding feeling when you cook it.
Yep.
Sorry, another life.
But it's interesting. It's interesting to me. Tom, how you doing? I'm sorry if I'm ignoring everybody. Eduardo says he's got to go visit James soon. I absolutely believe that. He came here to Culebras Lounge, where we're in right now, and we did a Sinistro.
Our very first tasting that we did.
Yeah.
We brought Sinistro cigars, invited him. He came out, and he brought more cigars.
More
So
cigars.
that was really cool
Brought
getting him
some
out here.
booze.
Yep.
He does a very good job of pairing his stuff with certain drinks too. I really do appreciate when companies do that. I'm sorry about that. Emperor's Cut. You might not have heard of them yet, guys, but you definitely should check them out if you have. We'll send a little tasting cheat sheet with their cigars. So each blend will have a couple of drinks to choose from, or ideas on what, hey, you should try this one out, or this mixed drink goes with this cigar really well if you like that stuff. And I appreciate that little extra.
Now, Tim brings up a good question real quick.
James.
Where's that table going to go? The one that you posted?
Yeah.
In here. Okay, so it's going in the club. So we'll have two tables in here.
And just for those tuning in right now, the epoxy table looks friggin' awesome, first of all.
I'm planning on making more of them, and there's possibly going to be an order form for people that want to have them, where they set them right next to the place where they smoke at, because most guys have them. They've got a little lounge chair in their backyard or in a room or whatever.
You need a table.
And then you'll be able to either send me your labels, or you'll be able to tell me what labels you want on them, or if you just want like vintage labels, or and then I'll ship it to you wherever you're at.
Now, I have a question. Would that work on one of those TV trays?
It would, but it's not as sturdy.
Okay, 'cause I'm thinking I wouldn't want a full set of 4. I would just want one
For yourself.
So
Yeah,
you keep it with a little folding chair and it's somewhere, and then when you're ready to go outside, you just take both and set them down and have your.
You should also have the option of a drawer. So
I love that.
I'm gonna, the update will have a drawer on it, and it's really cool stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, those functionality purposes.
Right.
I love that. It's a Swiss Army tape.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
Right. So you can keep a little ashtray in there and a little lighter, better, and then you can close it up when your old lady doesn't want it sitting out, or if you don't want to get, if you have it outside all the time, on your back porch or patio, it'll be able to be protected.
Smart.
Yeah, that is smart.
I didn't come on to sell that, by the way. That's just something we're working on.
The timing actually was kind of perfect because people, I think you're gonna want to hear and you don't want to see. We'll show some pictures of it too on the page because there's a really cool tables. The one we're on, as you can see,
you guys can already see the pool table that was covered. I actually helped with this very much. I believe I glued one label down. I don't know which one it is.
That's awkward.
But if you guys look at the table and you guys see a label that is perfectly centered and leveled off, that's probably not the one that I did. This ripped Camacho, and that might have been it. I don't remember.
Jeez, I'm gonna get to the comments real quick before we get too crazy with this. My goodness. Real quick, those who just tuned in, Thomas, Richard, and James, thank you guys so much for watching. James, as you can tell, it's a group of Last Cowboys right now. So, what do you call it? The Last Cowboys, a group of last ones. So the last set of cowboys, if you will. It's like when you see a biker gang and they're all the lone wolves. Well, you're not very much a lone wolf if you're all together.
Right, but so, maybe they found a new wolf to make their pack complete.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Zach Galifianakis style. Right. Eduardo says he needs to come visit you. Absolutely. And I love Sinistro because of you guys, but I got to hunt for stuff. The hunt is over. Just hit up James and he'll send you everything you want.
That's right.
Nonstop. Like a hose you can't turn off.
So, Jeremy, as the club president, I want people to know more about you.
You don't want to know that.
What if you could give people a list of maybe 5 cigars that you like to smoke so they can kind of get an idea of what your palate is, what would you tell them would be your cigars?
That's a good question. Despite the Super 3 like Padron and Arturo Fuente and maybe even Tatuaje, there's that Juarez cigar.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my number one go-tos. I don't care what the Vitola is. That's a fantastic stick, man.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm always looking for something that has a good price point. I mean, well, we're all looking for that, but really, it's that diamond in the rough where you're like, man, I'd pay $15 for this stick if I had to. There's a few other ones. The Hoya de Nicaragua, not the Antonio. What's the other one? It's all Maduro leaf. It's gorgeous. I think it's the. I'll come back to that one.
Yeah, I'll get the name on that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that is such a great cigar. But my problem is so when I buy cigars, I don't normally smoke them for like 3 to 5 years. So, and you guys know that because when you come to cigar tasters here at Culebras, normally I'm handing out cigars that are 3 to 5 years old, maybe even 7 to 10, depending. And it's just because I buy so many cigars,
right?
That I store them for so long, and then I'm not your average smoker. I'm like every 3 to 5 days I'm lighting up a cigar because I'm a really busy person. I own a paint contracting company. I have a small bakery out of my house. I help run this place. So it's I don't have a whole lot of time on my hands to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And not on top of that, being type 1 diabetic, I'm not really supposed to smoke a lot of cigars because it collapses your capillaries below your waist and then creates a problem with circulation. So for health reasons, I also only smoke 1 to 2 cigars a week, to maybe even 3. But other than that, I mean, I smoke better, smoke less is my theory and philosophy. And I don't necessarily go brought towards the more expensive cigars. I drift more towards the stuff that I know that it's economical, but yet it's also tastes good.
Now, I will say that there's 3 cigars that you turned me on to personally. That was Kirivari. I remember you gave me the red label a while back at I think it was one of the tasters, and I fell in love with that cigar. And then you gave us a bundle of Grey Cliff. Actually, no, you gave us I think 2 bundles, and they were the ones with like the different ones, and at the very end was the cafe one.
Yes, when we went to Texas, you helped us out. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you gave us one bundle. He's like, here, you guys smoke these, and then you guys could give these away. Right. Grey Cliff, fantastic. I really liked them. I think they had like a 10 or 20-year anniversary one. It was a silver label.
Yeah,
that one was really good, and as well as a flavored one. I actually enjoyed that one too.
Right.
And then I think probably my favorite cigar that you've given us many times, I think you might have already run out, was a C'est La Vie. Those things.
No, not the C'est La Vie. The oh my goodness, the absinthe infused. It wasn't C'est La Vie is a different one. It was oh my gosh, those thin
Yeah.
guys with the flavor into it. Not C'est La Vie. C'est La Vie is something different. What was it called?
No, C'est La Vie's.
No.
Because they were cognac infused.
But that wasn't C'est La Vie.
No, that wasn't C'est La Vie. Matter of fact, those.
What the heck was the name?
Oh man,
So good.
Now you're killing me.
Well, whatever
I have to go
those
look
was.
them up. I have probably one small bundle of those left, and they've got the woman on the front of it.
Yeah,
on
because
the
Joe
back.
was crazy about those too.
Yeah.
Oh,
You must have given us at least
Three or
3
four.
bundles of those things.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, these aren't anything special, but they're just a good cigar.
They were discontinued. Was the problem with them? They were an older bundle, and they were infused, and they're like a Habano wrapper. I'm talking and patting to see if I can remember it, but well, yeah, I'll it'll in a little bit. I'll remember it.
La Diva.
The
La Diva.
Thank
There
you,
you
Joe,
go.
in the comments right now. Sorry, Joe.
Thank you. You're right, La Diva.
Right.
Yes.
And I'll be happy to sell you, Joe, a few of those for $100 each. But what the other one is the quesada. So
They're nice.
so that quesada that I like so bad that it's a double perfecto, it is
Diva, that's right.
it is such a good stick.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like when you told us, you said they're not super expensive cigars, just a bundle cigar. They're really rustic looking, but I mean I love them. I really did. I enjoyed the hell out of those.
Flavored
things.
cigars get such a bad rap because so many guys they're just so that has a whatever. But this was just mildly cognac infused. Just mild.
Great
Good
Vitola to it. I mean, I can't say anything bad about that cigar. Really nice. Real quick, Robert, how you doing? I want to make sure we say hello to you. And it sounds like you might have some problem with those cigars. So if you need to ship some out to Philly or to Texas or Eduardo and Richard, they can definitely help you out with that. Storage won't be an issue because they won't last too long over there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, going back to the Warriors real quick though, because we just had a taster for a certain somebody's birthday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Saturday.
I remember who that was.
I remember because there was some good food, good people, good times, and even better cigars. I mean, the people were great, but I'll choose like another pack of those cigars, and you can have Randy back or something. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding, Randy. Yeah, you handed out some amazing stuff, and for those who might not know this, again, we mention it quite often, but we do different events here at the lounge on a pretty regular basis, at least once a month. And we are starting to switch it up to not just be a taster and drink and eat, but to actually do some event stuff to it too. And as Frankie might have mentioned, he won the first tournament, whatever.
I did?
Yes, you did.
Huh.
But now we've got other stuff coming.
There's only
up
some
too.
way to see it on some sort of plaque.
So that's why I trade Randy first, because he's the one who made the damn plaque, and now we can't. This guy, oh my goodness!
Can you imagine though? It's gonna have a pool tournament, cornhole tournament, darts tournament. My name's gonna be first on every single one of those. That's crazy.
It's definitely not gonna be me for cornhole because I've never played cornhole before. I've literally never corned a hole before.
Well, you didn't have
never
regulation
hold the
boards,
ball.
so
I'm honest. I've heard of it so many times, but the first time I heard, I was like, "Okay, this is child kicking each other in the balls. Isn't that what that is?" I remember that from a kid.
Cornhole has a history of the reference of it being invented back in middle of America, and there's a lot of corn there. But the other thing is too, you used to keep the corn cobs because that's how you wiped your bottom.
Oh my god!
And then you would throw the corn in the hole because it was an outhouse.
nasty.
Yeah,
Awesome.
isn't that awful?
That's really bad.
The more I think about it, it does technically sound like it would work, but I don't ever want to have to be in that situation.
And I'm so glad we have better stuff now.
The pandemic would have made us go right back to that.
Why are we commenting, hey boys?
I think it's a certain young lady
That
I
wears
cannot wait
backwards hats 'cause
I
she thinks
cannot
she's
wait
cool?
to see her in almost 3 weeks. Over
Yeah,
in
PCA
Vegas.
is coming up fast.
I am very excited for it, and I am even more excited to see her because it's been too long. It's been like 4 or 5 months of no Mel time, and I've got to see Mel.
No, you know what? She was talking shit the other day. Every time I go on to their lives when they're on Instagram, I'm always respectful. I'm always polite and courteous. I'm always trying to give her a compliment here and there. And then she just started talking shit, and I can't comment because they blocked me from commenting.
Good. I need her to talk more shit to you because someone's got to take you down a few pegs. And I lost the pool tournament, so now I can't. So I need her help. Need her to. And she's always talking nice stuff about you. All right, so don't even. She's always like, "Oh, what's Frankie up to?" Or "How's he been? Does he like me? Is he cool with me?" Like, no, he hates you. Get out of here.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's some salt that's going on her.
So mean. You're so mean. Real quick, Eduardo says oh my goodness, help me pronounce this. Rochambeau, yes. That is dang it, Eduardo, that's not the part we're supposed to be focusing on. It was the cornhole game because we got those new boards, showed the pictures off. I'm excited for new stuff.
I thought you guys were going to talk about the lunatics that I hung out or that I handed out.
I was actually going to bring that up next.
Oh my
God. The good thing about that and that you bring them up is another thing that you do that I like is when you bring cigars to your tasters, in particularly, you'll either bring a cigar that's the same cigar but maybe a different wrapper, or you'll bring the same cigar that's maybe a different size.
Right.
So guys get a choice on, hey, if you like a thicker ring gauge cigar, if you like a thinner ring gauge cigar, if you like a shorter or longer cigar, if you prefer the Maduro or the Habano, you give guys choices. Not a lot of guys do that, when it comes to the events here. I got to say, I don't think it's something we've ever done. But that's always a nice thing, having that option of, yes, this is a cigar you're going to get, but you get to choose the configuration that you're going to want of it, which I think is really cool.
It's a whole other experience when you have an option to try something with a smaller ring gauge to it, maybe a little bit longer, or something that has a very large ring gauge to it. Because a lot of the times you'll get different smoking experience out of both of those. They do their best to blend, like, okay, these are supposed to be similar to each other. But I think a lot of them, you want a different experience.
Right.
Because you could try the exact same tobacco in a very similar blend.
Real quick. Yes, Melanie, I love you too. And then Gabriel points out that we were smoking the Salomons.
Real quick to get into those, by the way, my smoke output has been pluming like hell. I am enjoying the hell out of this. I love the Last Cowboy. It's one of my favorite cigars of all time. That's no secret, no surprise here. It's so much smoke that I want to take my hat off because I keep getting the smoke trapped under it and my eyes are burning.
It's definitely not a cigar that you'd want to drive or smoke while you're driving.
Right.
Because cigars in your car, you're going to want to smoke something that doesn't have copious amount of plumage as you're driving and not puffing on it. You want it to puff on it and have it turn off, where this one just continuously smokes. It's not too bad. At the very beginning it was, but now it's kind of dying down. I'm having a problem with a burn issue, but I mean that's probably because how I have my cigar cut, and I'm not.
Oh, you almost kind of a shallow V there.
Yeah, and it started to tunnel at the very beginning, and so I fixed that as well. So yeah, I wanted to see if I could constrict the smoke a little bit and not have it unravel with the cap, because the way this cap is on here, it could very easily unravel.
Mm-hmm.
But not having a construction issue, I'm having a cigar burning issue, and like I said, it's probably primarily me. So.
It happens.
Coleman, can't wait to see you either. The only problem
there we go
that happens when we hang out with Coleman, like if we're at the pool or something, girls get us confused all the time. The only way you can tell us apart is he has tattoos, I don't. Other than that, we're both pretty tall cut guys. So.
Yeah, it's like that movie Twins. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're Danny DeVito.
That's right.
Pretty much exactly like that. Coleman, cannot wait to see you, brother. Yes, the slot machine's gonna have to do that. You gotta teach me how to gamble still, because I need to get to your level.
Well, you saw how that guy does. He just triple pumped that arm on the machine.
Cannot get that image out of my head. We were standing at a bar in Vegas with Coleman. I think James was still there too. He might have been talking to somebody else, and we're having a conversation. And one by one, we start just kind of looking at this one guy who's, one way I could describe it, he's angry at the game, but in a passionate way.
Mm-hmm,
it's like when the thing you love also makes you angry at that same time. And he's just, every time he does it, he triple pumps it and then stares at this machine like if he intimidates it, it's going to give him a payout.
Yeah.
And I think
he
probably did.
Yeah,
it was at the Palazzo.
Yeah.
It was so weird. And that was at least like 3 years ago now.
Well, that was a while ago.
At least
that was like
3
one
or
of the first years we went to PCA.
And it was just, I want to say one of us got a little under the arm video of it too, or a picture. But but I don't want to post it anywhere because the guy, he deserves a little anonymity, and he deserves to be told in the story because it was interesting. You know, maybe he knew something we didn't. Maybe he won lots, and that's why we never see him anymore because he's living somewhere on a mansion he bought or in the mansion he bought with his triple pump action.
So, what flavors are you guys getting on this Sinistro Last Cowboy?
Ooh, some nice little bit of leatheriness. It's
Mhm.
going very well with my coffee. So I don't know if it's the coffee here or if it's the coffee in here, but I've also gotten that. That's what I'm looking for. Not like a sweet coffee. There is some sweetness to it, but it's
Like a
some
bitter
it's from
espresso?
Yeah, it's coming from something else.
I'll go a different route. I am getting the leather you're talking about, but I'm also getting like an oak wood. That's the primary note that I'm getting out of
I
it.
could see
There
that.
was a good spice at the beginning that I enjoyed, but I like how it kind of died down. It's kind of a back note now. So very light spice for this cigar.
Right. Yeah, I'm getting all of those. I'm getting a little bit of must too, but the mustiness maybe because I'm drinking port, and ports are known to be a little bit musty when you drink those, but they're also sugary. So, you know,
So it definitely helps with the cigar then because
Mhm.
you want something a little sugary.
well,
Maybe
much like wine, cigars. Some cigars they're a smoke alone. You drink water with them, you'll be just pleasantly surprised with the flavor of the cigar.
100%.
And then there are some cigars you're like, man, I definitely have to have this with it
Mhm.
to smoke that cigar because it's either soaking up all the moisture from your mouth or the flavors are more bloomed with another drink or something. Um, and there's even some cigars that are meant to be smoked with food. So like that meat eater cigar made by Dunbar.
And that's just something I've never been able to do.
Yeah.
I can't eat and smoke at the same time.
it's not in my nature. Like
Yeah.
the only time I've really done it was when I was really hungry. It's been a couple of times, like the 1 year or 2 year anniversary in Ridgecrest. Made those pulled pork sliders. Like, yeah, I'm gonna eat them right now because that was amazing. Or we're at the after party with I think it was Davidoff that threw it that year.
CAO.
CAO did the steaks or something.
Yeah.
And
They did prime rib. That was really
but
good.
there was no cutting utensils. It was a butter knife and like.
They gave us plastic silverware.
Yeah, I just
was like,
picked it up and I was done with it. I was like, no, I'm hungry today. It's been a long one. What do you call it? Can't wait to see you. Okay, no, I've seen the comments real quick. But we've been talking about a lot of different spirits lately. Like I wanted to do our tequila talk, which we finally got to do that. I want to do some history on the families, which I'm going to do that next week. I got to push things back a little bit. But wine is not something that's really in my wheelhouse. So we got to get you back on for that.
Sure. We can open up like 3 to 5 wines and try them all, and maybe even get somebody else here to help us drink them.
That would help.
And hey, by the way, going back to the tasters that I do, I like to give out 6 to 8 cigars. I normally like to give out ones from all over, the Dominican, the Nicaraguan, the famous island that we that are illegal to purchase from. So and if you notice, I did that.
Yep.
All of those, and also getting to choose a vitola, and then so it really helps to be a member here at Culebras, because when you come to that taster, and when you come to the Christmas taster, I normally hand out 8 to 10 cigars as well, because it's just kind of a thank you for being a member of our lounge, and and just to enjoy it, and also fill up your humidor for the holiday, because the holiday, that's
spending money on other people. So nice
right. Well, and then I also like to give out a 4th of July cigar, and I like to give out a Halloween cigar, because there's just so many cigars out there that are worth handing out to my friends and members.
One of my favorite kind of impromptu tasters that you've been kind of putting on is the one after Thanksgiving, maybe on Black Friday or the day after that, on that Saturday, because it's everyone's super full and everyone's full of their families. I love you guys, but now we need a break.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, we need to go anywhere but here for now, and this is the perfect spot for that. It's not anywhere; it's somewhere very specific that I like to come to after that, especially if I'm that full of turkey. And I will go crazy on turkey any day of the week.
Real quick, Jeff says he doesn't care for wine, but he does love port. And then Joe says she likes Chardonnay. Not big on wine though. I got to say, I'm also not really wine knowledgeable. I did go to a wine bar over in Folsom, and they gave me like a flight of wines, and I was like, yeah, okay, they just taste like wine.
We were just there for the pretty girls that were sitting
that's
outside
true.
the bar.
That's true.
Well, unlike most people, let me rephrase this. A lot of people don't know that wines are normally named after the grape that it comes from, and there are blends where they blend 2 or 3 or 4 different grapes to get a particular flavor to generate a certain vintage taste to it. Chardonnay is a type of grape, and there's 3 different types of Chardonnays. There's still, there's oak, and then there's blend of oak and steel. Whenever you taste a Chardonnay and it's real crisp and sweet and bright, that's been done in steel. And then when you taste a Chardonnay that's real buttery and smooth, that's been done in oak. And then they have, and then some people do like a 40-60 split, because some people are not really fond of either the butteriness of it or whatever. And I will say this: if you want to have if you want to pair something with Chardonnay, open up a Cusano. The Cusano Habano leaf goes really, really well with it, because Cusano puts a leaf in there that has like this buttery, coat your mouth texture.
Oily, yeah.
And I love that cigar.
Nice.
Not to mention just the plumes of smoke. And if you can get the 18-year Cusanos, those are just delightful. I think they might be discontinued, but and they're normally like a big box type. You don't walk into your brick and mortars to buy Cusano. It's normally only through mail order, that particular cigar. But it's well worth it. It's the money. It's a good, like, hey, a go-to stick, and it also goes well with some IPAs and some other lighter beers.
That is excellent. That's something, again, that's the stuff we got to get a master episode. They top to bottom, the entire episode is going to be on that, because I think that the same way like we did the tequila one, because it's not appreciated enough as a sipping drink, right? It deserves that kind of attention. Same way with the pairing of wines. It's becoming less and less frequent from I've noticed, and I feel like there's definitely wine places. There's patches, right? But I feel like it could be just as not blanketed, but as appreciated across the board as the craft beer boom has been, as some of the bourbons have been, as some of the Japanese whiskey we'll talk about. Whiskey, yeah. Real quick, some of these comments. Byron, how you doing? Thank you for being one of the 2 people who are locked in for the end of the weight loss challenge. So it's going to be between him and Jeff. The winner will be announced this Friday, so be on the lookout for that. Coleman, this is a giant iced coffee. Yeah, we kind of entered the conversation with this guy. I'm still trying to be healthy, I swear. So this is nothing but a keto-friendly shake with black coffee in it. So it's like 120 calories worth of iced coffee. But I got another giant thing of it over there. He makes so much of it.
Oh, that is low on the calorie intake.
And it's all just
You go to Starbucks, it's 5 or 600 calories.
For those mocha, whatever.
Oh yeah, mocha chocolate bacas.
I'd rather make it myself anyway. I think it tastes better. And
in your pocketbook. Thanks you too.
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
Robert says he also loves the Cusano 18s.
That is an excellent choice across the board. I think you're going to be hard pressed to find people who don't like it. It's one of those across the boards. Like this guy, I've always been able to hand some, and I get very good responses every time. It's a 95%. Oh yeah, I really like that work, and I get more. Just I like smoking it so much. Mm-hmm. It's easy to recommend. It's really good for me and my palate, and I love them. It's one of those things. It's hard to continue to try new cigars when there's so many that I like, but you got to do that as well. It's such a balance of that.
Right. And I think that's a big reason why we haven't really bought a whole lot of boxes of cigars, is because there's always new stuff coming out that we have to try for the show. There are a few boxes I've actually purchased before. I do have a box of Mr. Gold's that I'm saving. That'll probably be one of the prizes for the 5-year anniversary.
No, you don't. Cracked it open. So we threw them already.
I'm sure you did.
No, I didn't do that. Actually, we have to talk about this Friday. Today is the 22nd, right?
Yes.
23rd.
Second longest day.
Sorry, Saturday. Then Saturday is the 25th. Yes.
Friday is the 20th. Well, yeah, Saturday is the 25th.
That is the 5-year anniversary, or 6-year anniversary of the page of Bakersfield Gentlemen starting at all.
So then maybe we'll do Friday show on Saturday from here.
I think we probably should. I didn't realize that, but it showed me right on the screen right there. Okay, this page has been open for this long. It's coming up. This was before the live show. This was basically when we started reviewing things, and we're very stiff and weird looking.
Yeah.
It made no sense. Mike, you just missed her. She was on a second ago in the comments. She was live earlier on the Instagram stuff. Maybe we can get her on for Saturday. I would really love that because she's become a very integral part of the show as well. With the new work schedule, I hope to get the morning shows going again, and I want to be on that again because I miss doing that. But it's been just to see the change that we've done from how we started the show to where we are now, and the technology how it's changed as far as social media has gone, what we can do actually with the equipment we have. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been really nice.
So, I 100% agree with that. But before we get too far into that, because we're almost at time,
What?
If there was a cigar, Jeremy, that you could tell people to try that you think is like a sleeper cigar that maybe not too many people smoke, or maybe even a brand, what would you tell them?
Boy, that's a really good question. It depends on if they're so it depends on if they are an established cigar smoker or if they're coming into the cigar realm. Like if you're starting out, I think a lot of the cigars on the United line are really well for newer smokers because they're medium bodied sticks. If they're going to start out and they're looking for a good new box, one of the very first boxes would be probably the La Giana Habana, and they also make a Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Maduro. It's really, both of them, they're not too strong, but they have tons of flavor, and I fall on flavor over strength. I'm okay with the strength thing where you smoke the cigar and you get up and you got a little bit of the spins and you got to go drink a soda. That's okay. But I'm more of a flavor guy myself, and I go towards that. So when I'm handing out a cigar and it's a newer smoker, I'll say, hey, try this one first. It's a little bit lighter, and then work your way up through the cigars. Same thing happens when you smoke your cigar in the morning. Start out with a little bit more flavor, less strength, and then work your way up through the day.
I will say I will have to disagree with that. I like to start off the morning with a hefty cigar, but that's just me. And I know our buddy.
It's not my fault that you have a weird constitution and you have to smoke a heavy one to go take a good shit.
And I know that our buddy.
It's not wrong.
Tony, rest in peace.
Nothing
but strong cigars. That's all he wanted. He didn't care one iota about flavor. He just wanted something to knock him on his ass.
He'd have that, what is it? Is it Camacho? No, which one was it? Partagas Black. That's not quite strong enough. It's a pretty hefty cigar for most people.
Right.
The Bone Shaker, not quite strong enough. But it's a very affordable, very strong cigar. That one's always been strong for me. And then it took like a good year of handing him different heavy cigars until he finally this one was very good. More of this. Rest in peace. Great guy.
I'd love to show you guys how I store my cigars too, and how I set up my stuff in these plastic humidors that have a certain amount of humidification and beads and whatever. Some people would disagree with how I do it, but
that's a
it works. It works really well.
So you prefer beads over Bovita?
Yeah, well, I use both.
Okay.
I have beads and Bovita packs, and I keep my cigars about 68. I try not to go above 68. And I also have hygrometers in there and whatever. And the particular type of container that I put it in actually has a little bit of throughput of air because you still have to your cigars still have to expel some of their ammonia as they age.
Mm-hmm.
And because I buy so many cigars, I try to make sure that I'm aging them properly because what's the point in having tons of cigars and then them not turn out right?
Now, do you label them so you know when you bought them?
I normally put a month and a year on the bottom of the box. If it's a single and it's really important to me, I'll put a number on on the side of the band or on the bag that they came in, and then transfer them that way.
Nice. Yeah, it's. I think a lot of people forget that step, because then you just have all these cigars. How long has that been in there?
Yeah.
And you can kind of go back in your mind, and it's a nice trip down memory lane. But
Well, the other thing is too is like I know when I packed the box because I'll through the year I buy I'll buy a bunch of cigars, and all those cigars will go in 3 or 4 different boxes, and I know when I did those boxes by the year and sort of by the month, and I can also go back through my paperwork to find out when I bought it, because I buy almost all my cigars on one particular credit card, and then
Is that the one your wife doesn't see?
yes. No, my wife doesn't. My wife doesn't care what I spend on cigars, because she knows that cigars are technically advertisement for my business, advertisement for here, and then also, I buy more cigars and give them away than I'll ever smoke. Just because I got 4,000 cigars at home doesn't mean I'm going to smoke them. I'm going to smoke a good majority of them, but I'm going to give away 2/3 of them.
I think for the average smoker, you wouldn't be able to get through that in a lifetime. For above average smoker, you wouldn't be able to get through that in a lifetime. You would have to be, what is that, 2 a day, easily,
Right.
just to to justify it by yourself.
Right.
So that's a lot of cigars. So yeah, I think, and it is a very nice sharing, communal thing. I love to smoke a cigar by myself. I do enjoy the relaxation of peace, but it's so much better with people.
Right.
Yeah. Share the love.
That's the other reason why I don't smoke a ton of cigars, because I am a social smoker. I am not a by myself kind of smoker. And conversation goes well with a cigar.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I will say though, if you do like to smoke cigars by yourself, or like me the other night, I couldn't sleep. I came down here to the club, opened the gate, punched in my number, see you, Mike, and threw on some Netflix and just smoked a couple cigars. So
yeah, I didn't see you again until it was time for work at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
it was a crazy. Yeah, I've had those nights too, where it's like, you know what, I don't need sleep. Let's get down to the lounge. It's a wonderful spot.
Young man's game. Old man's game is you better get as much sleep as you can, because you got to get up and because I work like 12-hour days, so
yeah, sleep is
it's
important.
pretty tough.
And then whenever I can't sleep, or have that week where sleep's off, I end up watching those videos of how important it is, and then just worrying myself more, and then you stay up later.
yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, if you get one night where you can't sleep, it's like 3 weeks of bad memory. And I'm like, what? Is that really how it works? I can't remember anything for the next 3 weeks. Is this? Oh, and then it's just stressful.
Oh, I remember the name of that quesada. It's called the Tiberius.
Okay.
Tiberius.
Yeah, it's they're all named after Roman soldier captains.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
Mark says here that he smokes every night by himself and he loves it.
That's a great, peaceful, relaxing.
Mark also likes to grill and barbecue a lot, post pictures, and not invite people to get a plate. So, right there, you can tell how Mark is.
I guarantee you the invites there. You just haven't taken them up on it. I'm guaranteeing.
No, I always drop hints like, wow, that looks really good. I'd like to try something like that sometime. And then he's like, yeah, I bet you would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, some of us are introverts and some of us are extroverts, and he's obviously an introvert that enjoys his cigars. I think you're right, though. I think some of the best times down at the lounge is when there's few to none down here, and you just get to sit there and watch a movie, or watch some sports, or watch some other stuff, and enjoy your stick and not be pestered. Yeah, there's some real enjoyment there. Crack open your favorite beverage.
Yeah, it's better than meditation right there. The
Yeah,
cigar,
absolutely.
relaxation. Sometimes just sitting out and watching the world go by, whether it's just watching the sky. Like this morning, if you had a chance, if anyone out there in Bakersfield in particular was able to sit and enjoy a cigar while the thunderstorm was going on, that must have been beautiful.
Yeah, we don't
Just-
get a lot of those.
Just to see the clouds, how it looked. I was out there in the morning working, and then I saw them. It's awe-inspiring, and yeah, we don't get that very often here. And I think those are those moments. You know what? Sit by myself. Don't need music. Don't need anything. Just a cigar and a little bit of nature in a very industrial area. It's great. Whew. Coming down towards the final third of this,
Now, you smoked yours fast.
it's wonderful.
He's a big sucker.
Mm-hmm.
He loves to suck.
I've had no problems. I'm fine with that, especially for this cigar. The burn has been great the entire time. I went with the straight cut. I think I'm the only one who did, right?
Yeah.
No issues whatsoever. I will be finishing this off camera because I think we're coming up to the end of it for
Yep.
today. But if you have not had it, which by now you should have, guys, get yourself a Last Cowboy in any size. The Scala is absolutely incredible too. If you want to try something a little fancy, that's a celebration right there. So whether it's a birthday or a holiday or a Tuesday, whatever it might be, try yourself out some a little fancier too. Again, any of the sizes will be just as good, but just for a little extra something. And the Solomon is no exception to that rule either. It definitely deserves that time to sit and relax with it. So try it out. Try out that Last Cowboy Maduro whenever you have a chance.
Or Maduros, like you think, you always try the Connecticut.
Also great. Also great.
Oh, and support your local B&Ms.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
They really do need it, especially with how legislation happens. And look, I'm always about buying a good deal, getting a good deal online, but I'm also about supporting our local guys because I don't want cigars to die in our area either. I don't think it is said enough in our community.
100%. And Joe says, thanks for everything, Jeremy. You are the best. What do you call it? Oh, whatever, Joe. It's fine.
Probably the only woman that would say that about me.
Gosh, yeah. On that note, yeah. Right now, especially with the economy the way it is, just give them a little extra once in a while. One more cigar from your local B&M wouldn't hurt.
Right.
Just listening to Cigar Authority talking about the cigar boom, that was so great, and we're still kind of sitting in it right now. The numbers still went up this year, even with the pandemic loosening up. The number of cigars being bought definitely still went up, like 20%. But they were releasing so many more expensive sticks during that, and now they're coming out right now, and everyone's pocketbooks are a little less full than usual, or they're going to other things like gas has been really expensive. Foods went up like almost 20% just in the year. So there's a little bit less money out there for cigars, but if you can help out, those B&Ms once in a while, we'll all get through this no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I will say, now you brought up the Cigar Authority, one of my favorite things to do is when we see him over at PCR TV, is take a picture with Dave and then send it to Jeremy.
Yeah, I love me some Dave.
It's good stuff.
He's a good dude.
It's good to listen to.
Absolutely.
I think probably the only podcast I download as far as cigars go. There's quite a few out there that are really good. So maybe I gotta hop on there. I've been trying to do some more research. There's like 6 different whiskey ones I'm now listening to. They all have not different opinions exactly. Like they do have that, but they also have different topics they're bringing up.
Right.
There's just so much in that one category of information. So
I think my only criticism, because I'm a painter and I listen to podcasts all day long as I paint, and in my brain it seems to think that I'm talking, but I'm not, and it gives me some kind of community in my mind. But that's the psychological part of it. Is when I get into these cigar podcasts, they'll start out and they'll say, "Oh, we're smoking this cigar," and that's the last time they talk about it. They don't talk about anything else, and you're like, "Okay, well then you're not a cigar podcast. You're a bunch of buddies that are smoking cigars."
Yeah, we're guilty of that.
Yeah,
I've done that a few times.
and,
Yeah,
I mean, it's okay if it's every once in a while, but the fact is if you're doing a podcast on cigars, let's talk about cigars. There's plenty to talk about. You have to do a little bit of research. And I'm not the best at remembering. I used to remember almost all the stuff that came across with cigars, and when it was like my biggest passion back in like 17, 18. But since then I've had to like back off on it because I've had so many other things going on, with my bread making and all of that nonsense. But if you guys, by the way, I was going to say, if you guys want to see that table, they'll post it on their feed when it's done, and then if you're interested in maybe getting one, just you can hit me up on Facebook, or you can friend me on Facebook and DM me or whatever. It's Jeremy McMahon. Anyways,
yeah, I think you're gonna want one of those guys. It's gonna be
pretty
pretty
cool.
awesome. Yeah. All right, and one more comment. I swear, quarantine helped bolster individual companies and B&Ms with online streams. 100%. I think it helped a lot of people not go too crazy during too. When
so many more podcasts and shows popped up during the pandemic.
Oh, I love it.
Kind of cut into our viewers a little bit.
I feel fine with that because the people who are watching are the ones I want to talk to anyway.
Yeah.
And whenever anyone wants to hop back on or they watch an old episode, I'm good with that too. Like if you can't make it live right now, the podcast is on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, Anchor, and I think another 2 that I cannot remember off the top of my head right now. So check it out wherever you want to listen to. Listen wherever you have to. You can go back and watch the old episodes on YouTube or on Facebook. We've been putting out new content for the reels. Once PCA hits, we'll get back to the reviews. Now that everything's back in full swing and all the equipment's back.
And don't forget to like and share, because when you like and share, that actually benefits the Bakersfield Gentlemen really, really well, and it gets their name out there, and it helps with advertising.
Helps with the algorithm too.
Because if you want to keep this podcast going or this video cast going, you really need to start liking and sharing.
It really does help.
Yeah,
It's
really
one of the most important things. I know it's you kind of forget, like, oh, I'm watching, whatever, but just hit that like button, hit the share,
And maybe even comment.
The comments are a huge help too.
Right.
Commenting with each other, they said that helps a lot too. But we can do a whole episode, a week's worth of episodes just on the algorithm alone, and then the next month it'll change anyway. So don't stress too much about that, guys. That's our job. But just liking and sharing is a huge help. It really does help every time.
By the way, the ash on this cigar, I don't know if you can see it from over there, white, and it's got a lot of layers on it, and it really does hold its ash real well. Nothing has fallen off. I've tapped everything off. And James at Sinistro, all of his cigars are like this. They're full leaf, and they're always good. The construction's always done right.
Oh yeah, James and Coleman know what they're doing.
No, yeah.
And I've appreciated having them as
Sorry,
buddies.
I keep forgetting Coleman's name.
Oh, don't worry
Sorry
about
about,
that.
sorry about that, Coleman.
Coleman, the good-looking guy. The one who actually takes care of it. Looks good. The one that does not look like Frankie at all. That's the one. Yeah.
And we're due for a visit.
Yeah.
We're due for a visit. We need them to come up here, and so we can bless them just as much as they bless us.
100%.
Absolutely. But that'll do it for us, you guys. We are at time. I want to thank Jeremy for sitting in with us today. Thank you guys for watching and commenting and liking and sharing the video.
100%.
I guess we're going to do Friday's show on Saturday.
We'll move it to Saturday this one time because it will be I want to say it's the 5th of the page itself. The 5th year anniversary of the Bakersfield Gentlemen being its own entity. So I'm very excited for that, guys. And
that's my 30th wedding anniversary that day.
What?
Nice.
That was not intentional, but we actually planned it that way. We're like, you know what? Time to start this. We're gonna celebrate.
Jeremy's nuptials.
All right, guys. Again, thanks, Jeremy, for being on with us today. Guys, do us a favor. Check out the podcast. Be sure to like and share the videos. The reels are a huge help too. They've been really helping push it. Go support Cigars for Warriors too if you can.
Yes,
sign up for Cigar Rights of America. We'll have more information on that as PCA comes because they will be there and we get to talk to them.
Yep.
Huge help. And we will see you guys this Saturday. All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you then.
Have a good one.